Strokes are usually considered something that happens to the elderly, but a new paper published in the medical journal The Lancet says there's a startling increase in the incidence of strokes in younger people. In fact, the study reveals an increase of 25% of strokes suffered by those between the ages of 20 and 65 over the past 2 decades. The CBC's health commentator and physician assistant Maureen Taylor has the details.
This was a study that really looked around the world at what's happened with strokes over the last 2 decades. And the 25% increase, as you say, is in middle-aged and young adults, 20 to 64 years old. Now, most of that is in the developing world, and they attribute that to the developing world developing to adopt our westernized lifestyle. So you've got people who used to eat a healthy diet now taking on some of our bad habits, eating diets high in salt, processed foods, getting obese, getting diabetes, getting high blood pressure, taking up smoking now, which they couldn't afford to before. And the result is that later in life, but way younger than we would expect, they're developing strokes. Canada, too, there is a trend in that age group toward more strokes, but we're fortunate in that we can actually say that we're seeing fewer people getting strokes, so some of our prevention strategies must be working, and that would be smoking cessation, getting people on antihypertensive drugs, as you know, and knowing who's at risk of having a stroke and making sure those people are on blood thinners, so that must be working. Also, we are surviving our strokes a little better now over the last 2 decades, so that means if you're getting the warning signs of stroke and you get there early within that 3-hour window to hospital, you may qualify for these clot-busting drugs, which really are having an impact. So it's surprising how many people ignore these things. If you have sudden weakness, even numbness down the side of your face or down an arm, don't just slough that off, get to a hospital. If you have sudden trouble speaking, so you can't find words or you can't form words, that's concerning. All these are sudden things, right? If you have sudden vision problems, even if they go away, get to a hospital and get checked out. Then there's that sudden severe headache, something like you've never had before in your life. Pay attention to that. And as well, a sudden loss of balance, especially if that dizziness goes along with some of the other things we've talked about.